Yep.
Wow, we just beamed him in from England.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Well, we should do that effect again.
Yeah. Get Jason Schron to get the transporter sound, eh?
I love Jason Schron.
Yeah.
He is so amazing. Hey, Mike, how's it going? James?
And what's up?
I see Steve Mantee is not running camera tonight. It's Richard. Hi, Richard.
Richard Bianca.
And there's my favorite Holly back there. Hey, baby. Hi. All right, guys, let's have some fun tonight. We've done this before. And I've got the name Christopher Palomari. These are not my show notes. Are those my show notes? Yes.
Do we need show notes?
This is from last week. Christopher Palomari. He's amazing, wasn't he? From Home Shops?
Yes.
I know, that was amazing. That was a great show.
Yeah.
That Vic stuff was amazing, too. All right, give us a countdown. And I'm starting the stopwatch right now because Joshua is not here to do it.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you.
These are anyway.
And by GL Robotics, with over 61 colors of 3D printing filaments in stock. Your gateway to new technology. Check out their website at glroboticsusa.com. Additional support is provided by Spring Creek Model Trains, your destination for model trains. Stop in and say, wow. Check out their website at springcreekmodeltrains.com. Further support is provided by Microengineering, keeping you on track with quality products for 55 years. Check out their website at www.microengineering.com. Order from your local dealer or order direct by calling 1-800-462-6975. Additional support is provided by Yelsma Graphics, America's leading distributor of quality railroad art and embroidered clothing since 1985. Check out their website at yelsma.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at ncedcc.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week's show in model railroading, show number 198 for June 14th, 2022. Guys, we're getting really close to show number 200, and I'm looking forward to that because Holly explained to me that we need to have some balloons and make it a special occasion. Chris Palomera's when rock and roll, right, Chris? We got a lot of neat stuff to talk about tonight, but first I'm going to start out by saying, sitting right next to me, I've got Chris Ibbotson from Yorkshire, England, all the way on the other side of the pond. He came here to visit with us this evening, and in fact, that is the same place I was born.
Yep.
So, welcome, brother.
Welcome.
It's good to have you on the show with us tonight. Also, on this end over here, we've got James Regier with us, my favorite Ivy League educated man, who's actually doing some amazing 3D printing that he's going to show off with us this evening. And on the other side of me, we've got our favorite automobile enthusiast, Mike Buddy. Hey, Mike.
Hi, everybody.
It's good to have you on with us.
Thank you, sir.
This evening as well. We've got some amazing stuff to talk about from Spring Creek tonight, too, as well. I do want to say, starting out right away, because we're all interested in the show schedule coming up, Spring Creek wanted me to announce 6 of the upcoming shows that they're going to be coming to. And 2 of them are here in St. Louis. And that is the St. Louis Railroad Prototype Modelers Meet that we're going to have here July 19th, or 29th and the 30th. Yeah. July 29th and the 30th at the end of July, which is going to be an absolutely amazing show. You guys know what that's like. We've got all the modelers that are really into railroading.
And this year they're going to have over half again as much exhibition space. We're going to have both of those halls where the hot tub place was last year.
Right.
Hot tub show, that's all going to be the RPM this year.
Oh, it'd be nice if they could keep the hot tubs, though, you know.
It's usually pretty hot.
They had it last year, too.
Yeah.
I peeked my head in there and looked at those hot tubs. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, the folks from Spring Creek, and that's Dave and Deb Zucker and Mike
Jeff
and
and
Jeff.
Mike, yes.
That's right. They are going to be at the NMRA National here in St. Louis, and that is August 12th, 13th, and 14th. And what those dates are, that's the actual train show that's going to be held over in Collinsville. Now, from the 13th through, actually from the 7th through the rest of the week, is the actual train convention. That's where you get to see Michael Gross and all the various clinicians. On that Thursday of that week, you can come out here and tour the Garden Railroad and the indoor railroad that I've got. Those are bus tours and drive yourself tours. I think we're going to have Lonnie on also. Lonnie.
Maybe July 2nd. That'll be our 200th show.
Right. Lonnie's going to be here to talk more about what's going on with the RPM meet and the various clinics that they've got for that show.
yeah.
Also, the folks from Spring Creek are going to be doing the Santa Fe Railroad Historical Society Modelers Convention. I did that show about 27 years ago. That's when I first met Stephen and Cynthia Priest and was so blown away at then the layout that they used to have in the basement of their condo, which was absolutely amazing.
And speaking of which, Stephen Priest's recent project, that bicentennial unit, will be on display at Union Station throughout the Santa Fe Modelers or Santa Fe Historical and Modelers Convention.
There you go.
So this coming weekend through next weekend would be the time to see it in Kansas City. And then moves
Fantastic.
west.
So anyway, the Santa Fe Historical Society Modeler Society Convention, that is in Overland Park, Kansas. That's going to be June 17th and 18th. So be sure to say hi to Dave and Deb Zucker at that show. Also, the N-Scale Convention that's being held in Nashville, Tennessee. That's a big convention for the N-Scalers out there. That's going to be June 17th and 18th, 2022. That show will also be a real treat. That's a 2-day show. The Galesburg Model Railway Days Train and Toy Show. That's going to be held in Galesburg, Illinois, just on the other side of the river over here. And that's going to be June 25th and the 24th. Did I say July? It's June 25th and 24th. I have got the wrong glasses on, guys. The last show that they are going to be at is the Red River Railway Prototype Modelers Meet. That's another great RPM show that they have down in Forest Hill, Texas. I've heard a lot of good information about that show. A lot of great modelers. That's a 1-day show, and that's going to be June 25th, 2022. So be sure to say hey to Deb and Dave and all the family that we love from Spring Creek. And a little bit later in the show, they created a really magnificent, I was impressed with the production values of a 2-minute spot on their hobby shop that they've got out there in Nebraska, and we're going to run that a little bit later in the show, so look forward to that. Also, they've given us one last thing I need to bring up, and that is a promotional code for the What's Neat show, a promo code of WNTW0622. So you folks that call in on the phone or use the internet to place your orders, if you put that code in during the placement of your order, you will get free shipping through the end of 7/31/22 of $250 or more, which is essentially one Athearn locomotive. You will get free shipping. Why are you pointing your fingers at me?
Well, I can actually see the promo code written there on the screen right now.
Yeah.
Oh, it was there, right?
Yeah.
0622 WNTW. I know. Speaking of WNTW things, Chris, Denny Yelsmo wanted me to give you this hat so that you can take it home back to England and show Jennifer Kirk, our wonderful friend over there, and all your other friends in England that you have been on the What's Neat This Week in Model Railroading show.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate it.
Denny,
Yeah.
thank you so much for helping us brand and promote the hobby. All the folks that show up at the RPM meet, we're probably going to be handing out a few hundred hats at that show, and the NMRE National as well. So Denny is going to great expense to help us promote our show because he's a firm believer in what we do to help promote the best hobby in the world. Now, why do I have on this ridiculous-looking straw hat? It's not so bad. I actually picked it up in Maui about 20 years ago, and I actually love it. And I pulled it out today because Holly took me down to the brand new stadium to watch a Cardinals game today, which we won.
Wow.
And I got some good video from right behind home plate. I know this has nothing to do with trains, but this is a beautiful place. I have never been there before. It is the new stadium to me, and what a gorgeous place it is. All the screens, all the people, and all the colors of red that you see in this video clip.
Welcome
and why
to
are
the
you
19th
giving?
century.
I know. Why are you giving me trouble about this?
It's
Everybody
only
else.
been there about 15 years.
Yeah, since 2006. 16 years. Yeah.
I'm glad to say she got me out of the basement. Thank you, Holly.
I know. Ken told me he was going to the ball game, and I was like, "Good for you. Get out of that basement."
I know, right? Just know I have 2 pairs of glasses on. It fits the logo. So, Chris, tell us about the world on the other side of the pond over there. You've got some freight cars on the table, and you also explained to me that you're starting a modular layout.
Yep.
You've in fact are modeling HO scale, which can also be called 00 scale.
Well, the actual track gauge is the same,
Okay.
but 00 is actually 176th scale.
Oh, I
So-
didn't know that. So those are 176th?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So
That's
this
right.
is not 187th?
No,
So it looks
Slightly
pretty
larger.
close.
Yeah.
Slightly larger.
slightly larger. It hails back from really kind of WW2.
Right.
So the track, we couldn't really get track that easily in the UK at the time.
Yeah.
So we adopted HO, which was easier to get hold of.
Right.
So that's why I've got the same.
I mean, I guess the good news of that is that you have all these model airplanes that are available in
Right.
1/72nd scale, but not
Yes.
1/87.
Yep.
There's a lot of vehicles in
So
176
you can sort of
too.
BS your way into saying
And
that they
military
can
models.
figure HO scale
Right.
layout.
Well,
And we've got our friends at Oxford.
Oh, yeah.
Some great models.
Yes.
Yep.
nice.
Explain to us, what are these freight cars on the table? Because this looks really interesting to me
Yeah.
with the sliding.
Doors, yeah. That's by Revolution Models. They've produced that back end of last year.
Okay.
And that's basically, it's a European design,
Yeah.
and it's a two-part vehicle. So it's got two separate two-axle vehicles that semi-permanently coupled together, used for kind of palletized goods. Could be water, could be bagged fertilizer, anything. And it's still in use today, from the kind of really kind of late 70s, early 80s onwards.
I
So this
remember
is not a
seeing-
container thing, right?
I remember seeing a lot of similar cars in Germany when I
Yeah.
was there on their
Yeah.
freight trains.
Are these
Yeah.
loaded with
How,
forklifts?
yeah, how do they load these?
Yep, pallets.
pallets, yeah.
So the doors
The
slide.
doors, okay.
Yeah.
They,
The doors slide
Yeah,
open, and
so they come
yeah.
out and they slide along.
So the
Yep.
whole
Is
the
this
whole
an
roof and
articulated
everything.
car?
It's
Yeah.
not
Yes.
articulated. It's actually a two-part vehicle. If it's articulated, it would share like a common truck in the
truck,
middle.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
So
Yeah.
And you call them carriages over there, or wagons? Or
Wagons.
Wagons.
Yeah.
Now you were telling me about this coupling system for securing them on ferry
ferries?
ships,
Yeah.
between
Yeah, the
between
Ramshorn.
England and
Yeah.
the Ramshorn.
Yeah, and it can also be used if you had a mechanical shunter in the yard. You can actually then use that to actually pull it along as well.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So it's mounted to the frame.
Right.
Oh, so like kind of a polling maneuver
Yeah.
like they used to use here.
The
Yeah.
olden
along.
days, yes, the old
Yeah.
polling pocket and the
Yeah.
Right.
the step well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's by Revolution Models. A couple of guys.
Now, would this freight car run in a consist, or would they actually make a whole consist of those type of cars at one time?
Well, it can do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw some back end of last year in the UK that was running from north of England down to the Channel Tunnel, and there were a whole load of those in it. But there were a whole load of other cars kind of mixed in.
It looks like it's got Timken roller bearings on it. Is that
Yep.
correct?
Yeah.
So the same company that supplies the roller bearings in this country does that in
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
worldwide.
worldwide.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a global company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's fitted what we call tension lock couplings for the model. It's not the real thing, of course, isn't it? It's got screw couplings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've probably
And
seen
that's
them around before.
like a standard design in all of Europe and the UK and everything. So they
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they send those back and
Interoperable,
forth
yeah.
through the channel all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it has the advantage on it that it has, of course, the disadvantage that someone actually has to physically step between the cars
Right.
to do the coupling.
Yeah.
But it has the advantage that it has a lot less slack and draw action
Right.
than our cars do here, so it provides a much smoother ride.
So no broken couplers.
Right.
we try not
It's
to.
also got bumpers on it. Is that a standard in Europe? Is
Yeah,
it have
buffers.
bumpers?
Yeah.
yeah, buffers. Yeah, buffers.
Buffers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also a feature to help protect the gentleman that's coupling them together. Is that correct?
Well, it's not. It's there to actually cut out some of the slack as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 So they actually just
They
about
put, they
touch.
put
They've got
grease,
grease
on
between the
those
two.
faces
Yes.
of those, yeah. So they
And
can-
you get the slack and it kind of will absorb some of it.
Yeah.
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 That's amazing.
Yes.
What is the other freight car you brought tonight?
That's by Cavalex Models. It's a steel flat car kind of from the late 70s onwards. They're still in use.
Okay.
Steel coil mainly, but they can carry bar, ingots and things like that. So That's
Perfect.
So both of
Every-
those are like late 70s prototypes?
yes, late 70s onwards, and they're still in use today.
What about the paint job on that one? Is that for like as built, or is that
Which
the way
one?
they
The
look now?
steel flat
Oh,
one?
these here, like
yeah,
the
that's pretty
lettering?
much as built. Yeah.
And now, do they still look like that? Or they
Dirty.
Do they have new logos?
Very
and
dirty
stuff?
and
So they
dirty
have
and
it
graffiti,
every-
Road
I'm
dirt,
sure.
graffiti
Okay,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that in the US as well as
Yeah.
in the UK.
Yeah.
Graffiti's getting everywhere.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We were supposed to have the NMRA National Show in your country this year.
In Birmingham.
But due to some sporting events, all the hotels were sold out, and so it wasn't COVID that canceled it out.
It was COVID.
It
It was a final nail.
combination
Yeah,
of the two.
yeah. Sadly, yeah, it would have been in Birmingham in the UK this year, but St. Louis is going to benefit from everything. So we're looking
Yeah.
forward
That's
to.
because we didn't get our 2020 show that we
Right.
worked
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
hard to
Right.
develop,
Yeah.
and it's the same
Yeah.
crews that are running it this year, so it should be dynamite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish them all good luck.
It's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah,
A
thank you.
lot of work to cover that.
Yeah.
Now, you said you're developing a modular layout. Why don't
Yeah.
you elaborate a little bit about what your plans are for that?
Well, the initial bit is a 4 foot by 2 foot module.
Okay.
We've got the NMRA standard for modules, and so I'm building the first one, which is going to have a cement works on it,
Okay.
and then going to plan to build more after that. And of course, with modules, they have the track at the same spacing at each end, and you can then get modules together.
Yeah.
And in fact, this weekend there's the North Warwickshire Fremo meet, and that's going down very well. I've seen the pictures on Facebook
Wow.
and reports. So it's very, very popular in the UK. So US
Yeah.
outlining and North American.
You've also
Canadian.
got this show called the Great Model Railroad Challenge that I think they put it on what you call Channel 5 over there in your country. And we would love so much to be able to bring that kind of coverage to our media in this country, to get
Yeah.
something like that on mainstream television in this country.
Definitely.
Reach out to those producers.
I will do.
Tell them I so bad want to help them put together something like that. We've got enough talent in this country to do just that. Create some amazing modules, some amazing layouts, and create that adventure that Jennifer Kirk has described to us so many times with some of the freelance modules that they create. The space themes and the various themes that aren't necessarily so much about model railroading, but the art of the hobby
Yeah.
overall. Which I think is a great way to bring in the public into this hobby and get the youth into the hobby.
Right.
So there's a lot of amazing stuff going on in your country, and we so much would like to emulate what you have.
Thank you, Kate. Yes. Yeah, I mean, model railroading, you've got so many different talents within it.
Yes.
And kind of
Yeah.
skills that you kind of
Right.
bring together.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
James has got a lot of talent.
Yeah.
How about this 3D stuff going on here? What are you doing, Jim?
Well, so this is 1970s as well. This is a 1972 built Schwebebahn from Wuppertal.
Schwebebahn.
Schwebebahn.
I knew that.
Basically hovering railroad train. So 20 years ago, I was an exchange student
so that
Richard could shoot
that.
at the University of Wuppertal
Okay.
in Germany. Now, Wuppertal is a town situated of many different former cities along the Wupper River,
Okay.
which has very steep embankments on either side, and so the urban population and much of the businesses, they're all concentrated along the valley. And so around the turn of the last century, they were looking for a solution to handle the increasing amounts of traffic through the town. And the solution they came up with was a suspension railway. They initially thought of doing an L train, but they thought that would be an eyesore. And so what they came up with was this, where they have supports that basically straddle the river, and the train operates.
This train's hanging upside down.
It hangs upside down. And in fact, we'll be looking at something that's even better, which is a YouTube video of the Schwebebahn, so that the audience can get a better idea of what we're talking about. But they have each of these two longer sections has two suspension trucks with two wheels each that are double flanged, and so it runs down the rail in the middle, and it just sort of hovers or schwebt underneath. So that's where it gets its name, and that's kind of a city icon for the city of Wuppertal, because it's really the only city where this type of railway has been built on a significant scale, and it's really one of the few places in the world that, based on how it's built, is really designed for this suspension railway. Now, this particular model, someone in Wuppertal had made this, I think, probably about circa 2003, 2004. An operating model. It's no longer available, and so I'd like to try and eventually get this 3D model into something operational. And so I've been messing around with that since then. Now, how I'm going to fit that onto a North American themed layout.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
This is your
It's my layout. It's my layout. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
That's rule number one. Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's this project, and so the whole system of articulating this whole train together, because these would all be run together as a single unit. That I have to figure out. I have to figure out also how it'll work to motorize it so it actually will move along the tracks.
Very cool.
And so the mechanism would have to be tiny in order to keep it invisible, and that's been one of the problems that's been plaguing the models that have been built of this so far. That they have a big honking motor inside these cars, and then rubber bands or gears or something to take it up the towers to the wheels. I want to have an interior on this thing. I want to,
I want to see through the cars.
I want to try and be able to see through it, and put people in there.
You're going to light it.
So, and of course, light it. And so there's all these things that I've been thinking about how to do it. So that's kind of
so
the puzzle.
No railroad traffic accidents with this kind of a layout.
No crossing.
Well,
no crossings.
Yeah.
In fact, in over 100 years of operation, there's only been one fatal accident.
Okay.
And that was because a maintenance crew left a track clamp on
the track.
And so the first train in the morning hit it, derailed, fell into the river, and killed 2 passengers aboard, injured the other 45. It was a mess. There was one other incident in the 1960s involving an elephant by the name of Toofy, that a local circus had this elephant, and as a promotional, they were wanting to see, can we put it on this Schwebebahn and see, and take it through town as sort of a publicity stunt.
That sounds like a bad idea to me.
Well, yeah. The elephant panicked and ran through the door and fell into the river. It turned out fine.
Good.
And in fact, now Toofy has become sort of a state or a city, a city mascot for Wuppertal, that you can get Toofy candies, Toofy teas, and all these different things. So it's kind of a neat little project. I'll not say no one's ever done it before, but the availability of this particular model is extremely limited. So
quite a challenge.
Just trying to do it on my own.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff I have also 3D printed. Was actually from this next issue of Running Extra for Model Railroad Hobbyist. There's this guy that is building a bunch of 1920s era cars. Your sedans, your roadsters, your coupes, and building them out of scrap wood. That he takes a 2-foot block of 2x4s, and he says he can get a couple hundred cars out of that block and various other parts. And the process he goes through was interesting enough, but I was just wondering, could I do something similar in mass-producible form with 3D printing? And so I tried my hand at it, and so this was
good.
This was the first one I did, and I decided I'd look at photos of Model A's as I was doing them. I'll not say that that's officially a Model A, but that's what my inspiration was. So I have the coupe version here. I have a Roadster version here, Roadster with open rumble seat that these cars used to have. You could put the kids in the back in the rumble seat so that they could eat dust as you were traveling down those country roads. And then I decided to make hot rods from it, because how many Model A's do you see in their original form, that haven't been rotted out, and all that stuff. So yeah, I've just been having fun experimenting with that, and it's amazing once you have that base mesh down in your 3D model, just how easy it is to change this or that aspect of it, without having to start fresh.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. All right, before we go to Mike Buddy, because we always love what he's got to talk about, and he's got some really cool stuff on the table tonight, I want to run this short video, which was very well produced by Spring Creek Model Trains. It's about 1 minute and 57 seconds long. I think that's what the number was we came up with tonight. Very good production values. It shows the town that they're in. I think there's some drone footage in this. It shows the shop, and they've got a lot of individuals that actually speak from the heart about what a great place it is, what great values they have, and that they've got everything under the planet in this, the best hobby in the world. So with that, let's go ahead and run this quick, short video clip of Spring Creek Model Trains.
Want to find that hidden model train treasure you may be looking for? Make this summer's destination a stop at Spring Creek Model Trains in Deschler, Nebraska. This quiet, small town, nestled halfway between Interstate 70 and Interstate 80, just off Highway 81, is a great place for a model railroader to venture.
Oh wow, what I like about Spring Creek Model Trains is they have a selection of just about anything you'd be looking for. They have it. If they don't have it, they don't make it.
It's like a destination trip to go and see it.
The Spring Creek store is absolutely huge. They have everything you could ever need in stock, and if they don't have it in stock, they'll get it in stock. Everyone there is super nice, super willing to help you out. They're always a phone call or an email away.
You can spend time browsing the store for a variety of manufacturers, railroads, or general modeling supplies.
The staff is very friendly. They have a huge selection. It's funny because I've seen Spring Creek Model Trains for many years now at the different national model train shows. And then I came to the store, and of course there's an entire different inventory at the store that you never see at a train show. And their pricing is some of the best that you'll find, so you never have to really worry about that either. You're getting the best deal with the biggest selection when you visit Spring Creek Model Trains.
As a bonus, Deschler is located just 17 miles from the Belvedere Whistle Stop, a fantastic spot to relax and watch the Union Pacific run along the Marysville Sub.
Visit our website at springcreekmodeltrains.com
Or call the store at 402-365-7628 to begin planning your journey to Spring Creek Model Trains.
Stop in and say wow.
That was a really cool video, Mike.
Yeah, it's a cool store too. It's like, I'd say it's the best hobby shop I've ever been in. I mean, it's huge. You know all the stuff they have, and then Dave took us down in the basement and showed us all the stuff they had down
The
there.
basement.
Oh my gosh.
It's a treasure trove.
Yeah.
Walther's boxes, so many things.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing just how much you can find that's not been available for some
Right,
time
right.
elsewhere. Yeah.
And they
10,
said that
20
they had
years old.
dug out the basement to be deeper, to have more clearance between the
Right.
ceiling of the old building,
Yes.
which was an old grocery store,
Right.
and the basement floor.
Yeah.
And somewhere in there they found a cistern.
Right.
And they were hauling all this dirt out with wheelbarrows
Yeah.
out the door and dumping it outside. And all of a sudden Dave's like, we could have just filled the cistern with all the
Right.
dirt.
They finally busted
Yeah.
through the roof
Yeah.
of that and said, "Oh, we could have just dumped everything in
Yeah.
there."
It's an amazing
Yeah.
place.
You know, I gotta say, the Nebraska Board of Tourism has as their motto, at least I've seen it on TV, that visiting Nebraska is not for everybody. But I gotta say that this Spring Creek Hobbies really could be a convincing reason for me to visit. You know,
Yeah.
it's just all the model trains. Like I've heard your stories about the time that you were there, and
Yeah.
I know that they have a lot of 3D printers. You know that do business through them that don't do business anywhere else, like that giant elevator, for
Great big
example.
grain
Yeah,
elevator, that's
yeah.
right. Just ignore the wasp flying around us
Is
right
that what
now.
that was? I
Yeah.
saw something buzz by me.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not going to bother us.
Yeah, wasp, schmosp.
I'm going to put a Fraser figure on the back of him and make him fly.
There you go.
Mike, what did you bring tonight, brother?
Well, first of all, Campbell Rice wants everybody to know that his caboose is now ready for sale, and it's available at ccrailmodels.net. And so I brought this one in just to show everybody again, and I already broke one of the couplers
That is a
off,
nice model.
but I'll fix it later. And then last week I brought these speeders from Yelton Models, and I
they're
was
pretty
trying
sweet.
to make a truck to
you did
match a
make it.
photograph. Yeah, it's not finished yet because I didn't have the speeders with me, so I didn't know how wide they were all week long, so I couldn't finish it. So, but anyway, I got a good start on it. The bed, these are 2 parts from Classic Metalworks, some kind of old utility truck with like a 1938 Ford or 40 Ford or something.
Now, are those functional speeders? Like, do they?
No.
No.
It's just a 3D print.
Because that would be.
Yeah, if you could
Awesome.
find something there, you could
Yeah.
use it for your
Yeah,
boat too. Yeah, but now I'll be able to go home and fix this. I think it's a little bit too wide. I don't like how it looks, but I don't know what kind of bed this was. It might have been a Redding bed, but it had different wheel wells. That's the main difference between the Classic Metalworks and the prototype I'm trying to model.
Nice.
Would
So,
it have maybe a stake bed?
Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of.
I'm sure you got tons
I've got
of
a couple
them. Yeah.
stake beds already. So sometime I'll bring in all my maintenance away trucks, but it'd probably be too many.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just bring a few in at a time. So there's another little.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the same
Well, you know, Daniel and I were out at K10's model trains this last weekend, and they have another one of their estate sales in, and I was looking at all these vehicles and thinking of you, and stuff. And
yeah, I'll be there next Thursday.
I was sorely tempted to buy a bunch of them, and then I realized,
they were only doing cash, weren't they?
Yeah, they're only doing cash right now, and that helped me. But it also helped me that with the whole house remodel, I need more expenses. Like I need a hole in the head.
Right. That's
so
for sure.
yeah.
I'm glad to hear somebody still using cash, because at the ball game today we discovered they weren't taking cash, were they? It was just plastic, credit cards, or debit cards. No cash.
When you're
exchanges.
dealing in huge volumes like the ballpark, then it makes sense to do credit. But if you're a very small store, it's still better to handle in cash, because it's the smaller stores that really get pinched with the credit card transaction fees and this and that and the other thing. That's why a lot of them will tell you that they want at least $10 transaction.
Then we went to our local McDonald's, and they no longer take cash. They had a kiosk.
To the Walmart today.
There's no more people waiting on you at the counter.
There's not a single checkout.
It's
lane
debit
at
cards
Walmart.
only.
It's all self-checkout.
And you know what's irritating? When you have to stand in line to check yourself out.
Right. And you don't get paid.
Yeah. It's like if I wanted to check myself out, I could do Amazon,
Yeah.
Lord.
Well,
I want to say that we are about to go run some trains, and I know, Chris, you've come here to be able to do that. And there's 2 systems that we've got down here, and that's the Power Cab, which is the beginner system from NCE, where you can just plug in the system right away for under $199 and be able to run a layout of my size or a 4x layout or your modules perfectly. But tonight you're going to get to experience something a little bit different with the NCE Pro Cab. And that's the system where you can use the small throttles, the large throttles. It's all radio controlled. We got 2 receivers down here in the basement that cover the entire 35 by 60 foot space down here quite thoroughly all the way around, so you will not lose control of this train with these beautiful intermountain auto racks that you absolutely have been admiring tonight.
Yeah.
So with that, I really can't wait to watch you. I'll shoot some B-roll to show on the next show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming out to be with us.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure to meet
nice
you.
meeting you, Chris.
Good to meet you.
Is that so cool?
Yes. Very cool.
This is the best hobby in the world, and it's
Really
because
is.
of folks just like yourself.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate
And
it.
so that, guys, be sure to hit subscribe on the YouTube channel or hit that bell so that you get
And hit that thumbs up,
notifications.
because why not?
And leave some happy comments, because this is the best hobby in the world with some of the best people in it sitting just around me tonight, just like this. Richard, thank you so much for running camera for us tonight. We love you, buddy. And with that, gentlemen, let's go run some trains.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
That's a seal of approval. Thank you, baby.
That's a wrap.
That's turning into that Austin Powers scene, where they're laughing, and then they come back on them. They're like still laughing, and like.
All right,
the camera
gentlemen, let's
doesn't
do a
go away.
thumbnail.
Yeah.
You're going to hold up one of your wagons?
Yeah.
They're called wagons.
Yeah.
Or you could just hold up your hat.
Yeah.
In fact, you should put your hat on.
Yeah.
Ready, set, go.
Is it big enough for me?
It'll fit all head sizes, including a great big brain like yours.
Thank you.
Ready?
I got a big head too.
I love you, baby. All right, guys, thumbnail. Ready? Show some teeth. And keep camera 1 rolling, and we don't worry about screen capture tonight, and I'll make sure we have a sound file.
All right.
Thanks for taking me to the ballgame, Holly. It was nice to get out of the basement.
Yay.
It was really nice. With a breath of fresh air. It's Stop. And we've got a good sound file, and we have a 31-minute long show. And this is a cool hat. It kept the sun off me today. It was a blessing. It truly was.
Yeah, with my one at home in the UK.
I'm going to shoot some B-roll of that
Sure, yeah.
flat car because it's got an open grit pattern that
definitely,
folks would
yes.
like to see.
I wanted to say something.
It looks
about
really
that.
good.
I never got a chance. Yeah,
Yes.
that's beautiful.
This show went fast.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, rock and roll.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yes,
James,
enjoyed
good
it.
job, buddy.
What are these white discs on the end? Is that a brake?
Yeah, that's a brake wheel, that is.
Okay.
So we've got different versions. There's the solid one, and there's the hollow one, but it's got
Right.
the kind of quartered.
Yeah.
So the